We're in Miami to celebrate the 25th annual Latin Grammys. I'm here with Luis Figueroa. How does it feel to be here?
It feels surreal. I feel surreal. I think this is the first year that I'm actually taking it all in, really enjoying all of the festivities, really enjoying the fact that I don't feel out of place. You know, when you're up and coming, which I still feel like I'm an up and coming artist, you feel out of place. Like, do I really deserve to be here? You get that imposter syndrome that people always talk about, where it's like, am I good enough to actually be here or deserving of the Latin Grammy? And I feel like we've done a really great job, me and my team, to get to this point. I think this is like what our sixth nomination. And I'm just, it feels incredible. Surreal, like just really happy, emotional, a lot of different emotions all at once. Happy, there's a lot of melancholy just thinking about everything that it took to get to this point. And, but honestly, I'm just overall really happy that things have panned out the way that they have. I feel honored to be in the same category as some of my mentors. And hopefully we can take one this year, you know, very optimistic.
And I know you don't need me to say this, but you do belong here, and you are an incredible artist. What was that phone call like when you find out that you're nominated?
Oh God, I mean, every time it gets me because it just, you get an instant flashback to all the barriers that you had to surpass. The industry is not an easy place, and I think you just have that flashback of like how hard you've worked to get to this point and to finally be recognized by your peers and the Academy is one of those things that I don't think will ever get old. As time goes on, as you evolve musically, it's always nerve-wracking. You know, what's the next step? Are people still gonna love what I'm creating? Especially the Academy, especially your peers. That's where you're like, oh my God, we're on the right path and we're doing a great job. But yeah, that phone call, it wasn't even the phone call, it was like what the announcement was crazy. Like I still had, you know, I was waking up, like this is early morning. So the excitement was through the roof, and especially because it was Best Salsa Album and Best Tropical Song, or Best Tropical Song of the Year. I always mess that up. But to be there, to be nominated for a song as a songwriter and to be nominated for an entire album is something that you've dreamed of, but it surpasses what your dreams and your expectations were in reality.
At least you're part of this new generation of salsa, you know, of bringing tropical music back again to the mainstream. Salsa is very close to our heart at TLN. What does it feel like to be representing this genre and trying to modernize a little bit, connecting with those fans?
It is one of those things that I never thought could be done, and I don't think I had when I was younger. I mean, there's an interview somewhere that I did, I don't know if it was for Latin Beat magazine or for what magazine it was, where I was like 16 and I said, I'm gonna be the guy who revolutionizes salsa. And until this point, I'd always thought that those words, I was gonna end up eating those words as a young kid and as a young immature kid saying that in an interview where you're like, I can take on the world. You know, I always thought in the process was, man, I should have never said that. And today, I feel like I just need to double down on those exact words, and maybe that was manifestation without me even knowing it, because to get to this point of not only revolutionizing salsa, but I've had so many great examples of music that's evolved over time with Romeo Santos, who I was on tour with for, you know, three plus years, and seeing him revolutionize bachata the way that he did was something that I never thought that I wanted to do until I started to create salsa and go along on my journey of salsa. And that's what I want to do. I want to bring something fresh to salsa, something out of the box. And I think that's what we're doing. I think there's so much more to come. And as the years go by, the better it's going to get, the more intricate it's going to get. And I'm just excited. I really am excited to be at this point right now with my music, with my creativity, and to see what it's going to be in the next 5 years.
And something that's helping revolutionize the music industry on the Latin side is, of course, collaborating with mainstream English language artists, some of whom are Canadian. We've got Drake, we've got The Weeknd, we've got Justin Bieber. Is there anyone in specific that perhaps you would like to consider doing a collab with on the Canadian side?
Man, I'll tell you something. I have always been a fan of, he's an artist and a songwriter, and his name is August Rigo. And he's from Canada as well. I'm not sure if he's from Scarborough or from somewhere in Toronto, maybe in Toronto. And he's written, yeah. He's written so many amazing songs, and I've always been a fan of his songwriting. I think, you know, he's an R&B guy. He's just an overall phenomenal guy. I would love to do a collaboration with him, and that would be a dream. Obviously, they have the Drakes and the Justin Biebers and all those. But no, man, August has always been a great artist and songwriter, and I think we can collab on something in English and Spanish or Spanglish, because I just love what he does, man. I love what he does, and I think it'll fit super well in salsa. We haven't talked about this, so you know, eventually it'll happen. I know it will. But yeah, just putting it out there.
Yeah, planting the seed. Maybe he'll see this and you'll get a phone call tomorrow. Now, Luis, you're performing at the Grammys this year. What can we expect from this performance?
Oh, man. I have to leave that one up to the imagination, because, you know, saying too much will give it all away. I think the performance is going to be one for the books. I'm so emotional, so ecstatic to be a part of what's going to be going down on that night. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. Like, I can't give too much away, because it'll just give away the surprise. But it was a moment that I could have never dreamt it. Just being at rehearsals yesterday and this entire week, I was just sitting there looking around the room and just being like, we're here, we're doing it. Latin Grammys, 2 times nominated this year. Like, this is what dreams are made of, but it's happening in real life.
Well, we cannot wait to see it. Luis, before I let you go, you know how streaming services give you kind of like your Wrapped of your favorite artists. I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Oh, God.
Who do you think is gonna be your top 5 artists and your #1 song?
Man, my top 5 artists, that's tough. It'll probably be Frankie Ruiz with Salsa. It'll probably be Gracie Abrams. Who else would be in my top 5? Maybe myself, which is crazy, but I've had to play it a bunch of times. Yeah. You know what? Let's go on my Spotify right now. Let's see. Miguel. Okay. I was listening to his album Kaleidoscope Dream from like a bunch of years ago, and it smacks still to this day. Obviously, August Rigo. Servando y Florentino are in there. And let me see, maybe one interesting one that I was listening to the other day, Donna Summer. Interesting. So maybe that'll be, I don't know what it'll be in my Wrapped, but let's see. We'll see the comparison from this interview and what actually is on my Wrapped.
Luis, muchísimas gracias. Buena suerte este jueves y nos vemos.